You are watching coverage of the Fnatic PlayOpen tournament cast by myself, TotalBiscuit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SHOUTcraft. Yes! Cloud in the red trunks, playing Terran right here on the Metalopolis versus his opponent Mana in the style and hot pink as the Protoss. This is the Fnatic MSI $3,000 PlayOpen. There's a big laptop up for grabs as well as a whole bunch of different things, which is why we've got lots of the top players here to have a shot at that. We've already seen various ones eliminated. Indeed, the upset right there was Adel Scott taking out Nama in a very commanding fashion in the previous game. That leaves Mana remaining. Bear in mind, they are part of the same team, so there you go. We'll see if Mana can continue to advance in this particular tournament. We also had, like, the second round, Brat OK versus Demaga, which ended up going commandingly in Demaga's favor, I might add. Upsets abound in this particular tournament, folks. We like the drama. The drama is good. Sports has drama. Why can't esports have drama? Not the kind of drama that we see on the forums, like some guy posts ha ha ha, and then there's a load of flaming, and everyone's really angry about it, and then there's temp bans handed out in Team Liquid. We're talking about real drama, emotional drama, folks. Drama. Yes, stuff is happening. Mana with the gate on 12 supply right there, and Barracks coming right down for Cloud, which shouldn't surprise anybody. Mana is an absolutely fantastic Protoss player. Wonderful Protoss player. Cloud I haven't cast, but I have heard his name. And that should mean quite a bit. If I've heard the name of Cloud, and if he's got this far, then he's certainly no pushover. It will be interesting stuff, there's no question about that. SCV looks for new territory to stake out. I can only imagine a map like this sort of being the Wild West, but it doesn't really make an awful lot of sense. I mean, why would you build... This is blatantly a city, right? Why would you build a city around, like, all of these resource points on the top of buildings? I mean, for one... This is like the top of a massive, great skyscraper. Explain to me why minerals grow on the top of a skyscraper. It's not moss. You know, it's not like the moss or the shrubs that you find on the top of a skyscraper. This is like full-blown minerals that these buildings are made out of. How does that make any sense? They spontaneously generate out of freaking nowhere. It looks like a cracking out of the ground. And what kind of maintenance has this place got? Bear in mind, they're building cafes here and everything. It's unbelievable. Massive, massive health and safety implications to this, folks. I wouldn't want to do that. And not to mention the freaking gas. I mean, why can't they just mine it inside the building? Surely that would be less vulnerable to being attacked. I don't know. Metalopolis has never made any sense to me whatsoever. Oh, righto, folks. There you go. Tech Lab coming right down with the barracks. Nothing fancy as of yet. Two Marines pushing out. He does have quite a bit of money, actually. Could be going for the fast expansion. It's looking pretty likely. There you go, especially pushing out those two Marines straight into it. Interesting. Try and get that early economic advantage, but bear in mind that his defense is not exactly what I would class as amazing. But he has scouted that Mana's opening is pretty damn typical. He's not going to be applying aggression early on. He himself might end up fast expanding pretty rapidly. I wouldn't blame him for that. Straight into robotics. Again, similar to Adel Scott right there. Takes the robotics before the other two gateways incredibly fast. Get that observer out against the Terran, and of course prevent any kind of nonsense. But as you can see, Cloud is not going for fast Banshee or anything like that. Pumping out Marauders as quickly as he can to defend this command center over here, and then try and get his economy rolling hard. Builds it straight there. He's feeling pretty confident about it. You'll see a lot of Terran players actually dump down the barracks in the actual building. Inside the building, yeah, that'll be a little bit... Yeah, again, why can't we just set up the barracks inside the cafe? I know it'll be a little bit makeshift, but it'll be way more difficult to actually attack. You'll see a lot of Terran players, they'll dump down the command center in the base, because it's nice and safe to do it, but what you see right here is Cloud's going for this 3 barracks approach, which is very effective against the Protoss, but very early Immortal coming right out here for Mana. He hasn't bothered to fast expand yet, really got to be pushing hard with that. That would be absolutely fantastic if he's able to get the numbers for it. Bear in mind the problem with Immortals. Immortals are so good, like, they're amazing, they kill... like, everything, you know? Like, Marines counter everything, Immortals counter everything, even air, you know, they have this false the false thing going on where they say, oh, well, I don't think I can shoot at air, but really, they're just holding back, because they know if they did shoot at air, it would be really, really unfair. You see Immortals very, very honourable. But when push comes to shove, harsh language is what comes out of there. You know, if I was an Immortal, I'd probably be kind of pissed off as well. I mean, look at that. You're sort of suspended in this jelly. There's a little goldfish going around that you can't get rid of because, you know, you don't have any hands anymore because they got cut off. You're critically injured. You're a rip-off of Warhammer 40,000's Dreadnought, so... yeah, it gets to be a bit unpleasant. Anyway, Cloud with a 4 barracks approach right now, really pumping him out hard right here. Bunker coming up for defense as well. Only a single Immortal out. got his sentry out, and he's now into his expansion. Mana not looking to apply aggression as of yet, and I wouldn't blame him because I don't think he's really got the forces for it. Cloud is pushing out Marines in a hefty manner. Stimpak's on the way as well. Mana just holding out on the defense right now. Income-wise, you can see that Cloud is ahead only by virtue of mules, and that is no big surprise. Terran don't tend to be ahead in SCVs by now because they can't chrono boost, and they can't build like 3 at a time, so you shouldn't be surprised by that. People keep wondering, oh, why did Terran have this? I don't understand. Why did Terran get mules? Or maybe because they can't build really fast workers. That would be the thought of it. Admittedly, it does help later on, but you see a lot of whining as regards to Terran these days. I don't really like to discuss imbalance in any way, shape, or form. I don't think it's all that entertaining. I don't think it's really a good idea to discuss at this stage of the game anyway, so we will see. Cloud has a good eye on that one. There's the Colossus coming up right now for Mana, which of course is going to be the deciding factor, I'd imagine, of this particular engagement. Factory only just coming up for Cloud. This could be a fairly critical weakness. If he's not able to get a good number of Vikings up by the time that Mana starts pumping out those Colossi, then this entire force, you might as well just say bye-bye to them. They're not going to be able to survive. That's the problem with this barracks-heavy approach. You can see Mana has already scouted it. He knows about the 4 barracks. He is aware. There is no bitches don't know situation going on right there, but Cloud actually now going for a 3 tech lab approach right now. Lots of marauders. Would kind of make sense. And he did scout the robotics facility early. He has to suspect Colossi at some point. And there you go, straight into the starport. The question is he going to be able to get out enough Vikings to deal with the Colossi? Right now, Mana doesn't quite have the money for it. Finally starts his first Colossus, and he's not going to have extended thermal lance either. And if he gets an awful lot of Marauders out, then yeah, those Colossi won't be quite as good. They're still nice, but they're nowhere near as good. Marauders tend to take a hell of a pounding from that, and they're great against armored units, extremely good against armored units. Mad skills against armored units. I mean, look at that, 20 armor damage versus 10 normal damage. There's your extended thermal lance coming up for Mana, and it's really going to come down to a matter of timing. When does Mana actually decide to push? Looks to check that out. Maybe he might decide to grab another expansion at some point because he does have pretty strong map control coming up. There's the pylon coming up, but it has already been scouted by Cloud. Takes that down. Is he going to cancel it? Well, he doesn't need to. A single Marine doesn't have the damage, but those do. No question about that. I have to wonder whether Mana's actually deliberately trying to draw his opponent out so that he can do damage. I mean, he doesn't want to be anywhere near the bunker, anywhere near the close line of reinforcements. However, Cloud is not that silly. Bear in mind, Mana has an eye in the sky. He is well aware of what's coming. Income-wise, you will notice the Cloud is streaming ahead as a direct result of the mules. He's actually managed to catch up in terms of SCVs to the point where he actually exceeds his opponent. Looks like Mana has had to cut some of his production on that, but bear in mind, he's got enough. You know, he doesn't have to go crazy into probes right now. He's got 2 expansions. He's got 48 probes. It works. No question about that. He doesn't have to have 5,000 probes by this stage of the game. That would just be kind of silly. Cloud with the medivacs. Once again, though, I don't think he has scouted those Colossi. He has. There you go. He has seen it. He is aware that it's coming, but he does... There's your Vikings. Finally, I was thinking, a little bit late for the Vikings. But once again, we haven't seen all that much aggression from Mana yet. Mana actually pulling all the way back right now. Seen the medivacs, so he has to be assuming some kind of drop coming in the not-too-distant future. Certainly what I'd expect. Ooh, Mana. Fancy. Dark Templar. Where is he hiding it? Templar Archives coming up as well. Oh, yes. There's some diversity for you, folks. Dark Shrine over there. Not being scanned, not being scouted. Dark Templar, of course, will be absolutely critical to this. No Raven out. Scans will reveal them, but scans are unreliable, and of course, they do cost energy, so if you end up running out of energy at just the wrong time, the Dark Templar will kill freaking everything. Now, that is their mission in life, to kill freaking everything. And they're very good at what they do, as long as they can't be seen. Factory Scout, however, that's going to be difficult to bring down in time. It depends on the angle he goes in. I mean, that's a good placement for it. Generally speaking, you wouldn't really scout the back of a natural expansion there. Mana's going to have to go in there heavy. Needs to bring that down. Oh, he's not going to see it. There you go. He doesn't scout it. In the meantime, however, Cloud, a lot of aggression coming in. He's already seen that. Has he seen the Dark? He hasn't seen the Dark Templar, but he has seen the High Templar coming in. How many Colossi does he have up? 2 up. Overall, I mean, that's an overwhelming force for Cloud. This could be unpleasant, but he did just manage to warp in 3 Dark Templar. That's absolutely critical. No stealth detection of any description. He's gonna lose his line right there, but will the Dark Templar be able to kill everything in time? That is what I have to wonder. 3DTs is all that's available right now. Cloud all the way into the base. Mana in an awful lot of trouble. Dark Templar... Now, still not scouted. Still no scout on the Dark Templar. 5 DTs. Cloud has to be wondering why exactly all of his army is dying rapidly. But that natural expansion of mana is in an awful lot of peril right now. Cloud's scout factory on fire. Vikings down to do huge economic damage. The DTs kill everything with the exception of those Vikings. Income-wise, oh wow, absolutely massive damage done right there. 28 probes, 27 probes. Mana is in a lot of trouble right here, even though he's able to annihilate that entire attack force with the benefit of the Dark Templar, but will the counter-attack be good enough? That's the question. Missile turret is down for Cloud, so he is aware now of what is coming in. There is no missile turret in the base, though. That is vulnerable. No question about that. Ghost Academy on the way up for Cloud as well. Oh, yes. Fancy, fancy stuff right here. Psionic Storm is actually being researched. He had to rebuild that, I assume, because he certainly lost it. There you go, rebuilt that Templar at the side of that, but here's what we're looking for right now. He can't go in there. It's good placement there by Cloud. Can he flank around the side? He can, absolutely. How many DTs does he have? He doesn't have a Warp Prism up either. If he had a Warp Prism, he could be in that base right now. Look back to me. Look back to me. Yes. This Observer is now Warp Prism. That's what you hope for anyway, but it's not going to happen. The thing is, Mao's mana took so much damage to his economy right now, and Cloud's expanded to a safe third expansion, third base, second expansion, and he's not really worried about it at all. Still, that main base is so vulnerable to drops. So vulnerable, and we're not seeing anything from Mana there. Now, units lost-wise, Mana did lose more, and his economy got devastated, so Mana is not in a good position against Cloud at all right now. And his opponent is well aware of those Dark Templar, and Dark Templar really only work all that well in the element of surprise. Bear in mind, the Dark Templar did save the ass of that base. I mean, there's no question about it. If Mana had not built Dark Templar, he would have been dead. I mean, there's no question. But the question is, now, with the amount of units that he's lost and the amount of economy that got damaged, can he actually come back from that? Because right now, Cloud's income is ridiculous. Another CC coming up right now. Huge amounts of bloody everything being built. Doesn't have a factory, though, so he can't actually build a nuke, which is quite amusing because he sacrificed his factory. That'll have to get rebuilt. Still relying on those basic forces right there. Bear in mind, there's another role for these ghosts as well. Ghost EMP is wonderful because it also can reveal cloaked units. So that is something, again, you have to bear in mind. It does show cloaked units. Very effective. Vikings coming around the side. We're going to get a little bit of harassment with them. We certainly could see it. But more effective as scouting units right now, especially with Stalkers and Zealots on the ground, ready to respond to that. The problem that I've got right now, if I am, say, thinking about what Mana is doing, is that I don't know if he's got the numbers. He might, though. I mean, he's gone heavy into Dark Templar. He's just, now he has 8, and he has the Catering Amulet. So actually, this could be a turnaround right here. Dark Templar set out to look and see what they can see. There's the scout. He's actually wasting the scans of his opponent deliberately here, as far as I'm concerned. And he has 8 High Templar. Oh, wow, mega feedback right there. Annihilates those many racks. He needs to snipe them off right there. There's the Archon Merger. Oh dear, he lost so many of the High Templar, though, in the process. Lost the Archon there. Needs the Storms. There's the Storms at the front. Is it enough? It is not. It is not enough. The Medivacs were not taken out either. Another Storm. Double Storm right there. Cloud stays alive. Still stays alive. That expansion getting devastated. Nothing on the ground with the exception of those Dark Templar. Dark Templar isn't going to be enough to pull that away, though. Not going to happen. Oh, God. Mana loses the expansion. It's absolutely brutal right here. Income is tanking hard. Mana unable to expand, really. He's got that one out right there, but the thing is, Cloud actually doesn't know it's there. He's like 2 feet away from it. He doesn't see it, but he's going to lose everything. Mana does not have anything right now. There you go, folks. Mana knocked out, as far as I can tell. Cloud takes it. Wow, that was brutal.